conflicting theories on when it broke apart. Did it break apart on the surface and then fall to the floor of Lake Superior, or did it basically nosedive, run into the floor of Lake Superior, and then break into pieces? So there's those competing theories, but then also there likely will never be another dive, sanctioned dive anyway, by the Canadian government to the shipwreck, and that is because of that international controversy you had mentioned. On one of the expeditions in 1994, an independently funded expedition, a couple people on one of the dives during that expedition saw a body on the ship, and there was recorded video of it. They reported it to the Canadian government. The families of the crew who were lost were understandably upset because this was, a sacred gravesite, essentially. And so that kind of led to a debate of whether that video ever should have been recorded. And after that, the Canadian government essentially blocked off all expeditions because it is now a gravesite. But what they did do is allowed one final dive in 1995 under one condition. If the crews down there happened to record video of one of the crew members, they would shut the cameras off and they would destroy the footage. So this controversy was a really huge deal 30 years ago. It's kind of, I think everybody's kind of gone to their individual corners now and are just accepting that there likely will not be another dive, at least in our lifetimes.
And that's another part to this, Joe. That's you should have saw those. If you had a camera and you saw the look on my face and my producer's face when you just mentioned that and just that entire situation there, how possibly like somebody seeing a body like that just kind of took my breath away a little bit. But the reality is that 29 men did die on that on November 10th, 1975.
Yeah, and I think it's a good point. And some of in the file interviews I recorded or observed or went back and reviewed, they even acknowledged that sometimes when these explorers are looking over a shipwreck, sometimes you can get lost in trying to figure out or solve the mystery, and you can't forget the human toll of this. Yeah. And that's part of why the crew that went down to take the bell up as a memorial to those crew members, they said it was key to them to be very...
Where strong opinions meet open minds. News Talk, 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. The beginning of the end of the government shutdown is in sight.
Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn cast the 60th vote to cross the procedural hurdle. Senate Majority Leader John Thune was optimistic about final passage.
Nutrition programs, our veterans, and other critical priorities will have their full-year funding.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said Republicans still have not addressed expiring health care tax subsidies that millions of Americans depend upon under the Affordable Care Act.
This fight will and must continue.
The shutdown could still take days to end since the House has to be called back to Washington to pass the bill that funds the federal government through January. Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Passage of a bill that actually funds the government is expected in the Senate on Monday. As you heard, members of the House have been told they may soon be called to Washington to vote on the Senate bill. It could take days before a bill that funds the government is signed into law. In the meantime, expect continued flight delays and cancellations. Here's CBS's Chanel Cole.
Our best case scenario is that we'll be able to leave here in 2 hours.
Video shows a Delta Airlines pilot telling passengers to board a plane amid shortages at destination.
We need to figure it out as a country. Get it together.
We met Eddie and Carla Lippincott when that same flight arrived in Newark more than 2 hours later than scheduled.
It's been a tough month for food banks around the country, many of which have been inundated with requests for help. Jeff Smith with the North Texas Food Bank says they can only do so much.
I think we're equipped to kind of serve the community short term, but no food bank is prepared to do this long term. We're just not set up to serve those large numbers of people without the community support.
There will be lots of free restaurant meals on Tuesday for those who put on the uniform.
To thank current and former military members, a drink is free for vets at Starbucks and Smoothie King on Tuesday. It's burgers for vets on the house at Shake Shack. You can get one free and a bottomless side of fries at Red Robin, too. Places like Chipotle and Firehouse Subs are offering buy one, get one deals for Veterans Day. And if you show your military ID, you get a free entree at Red Lobster, Applebee's, and California Pizza Kitchen. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Have you seen a picture of a man in a fedora and a three-piece suit outside the Louvre in Paris on the day it was robbed of jewels? Some speculated it was a detective or was AI generated. Turns out it was 15-year-old Pedro Elias Garzon Delvaux. He lives near Paris, and he says he often dresses in vintage style, inspired by historical figures. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
So many different agents to choose from, and the one that really gets you results, John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. Dave Peterson joins us now. Dave, what was your experience like working with the Schuster Group?
Well, after an unsuccessful attempt to sell the home ourselves and coming up short on offers, I decided